What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a bunch of One Piece TCG news about which I am pretty gosh darn happy. So let's have a chat about it, shall we? Starting off with a new promo, Bellamy, and this is weird, right? Because I've been reading the One Piece manga, as I'm telling you guys. I'm up to, I don't know, like 260 or something. They've just got Skypedia, so however, wherever that is. And I just did the Bellamy bit. And I searched yesterday, I'm like, hey, I wonder what Bellamy cards have been made so far. And then I found out there was a promo Bellamy that had been revealed the day before that I'd somehow missed, and I only found out about because I was searching for Bellamy cards. That's weird, right, ladies and gentlemen? That's a weird coincidence. But either way, there is a new Bellamy card. Now, this is being given out over in Japan at casual tournaments, exchange meetings, as they are called. And you go along and you get yourself a Bellamy. It's basically replacing the Monkey D. Luffy. So up till now, there's been the casual Monkey D. Luffy promo. And now this is going to go away and be replaced with a Bellamy instead. Although, as a side note, remember, this was a casual promo in Japan, which became a casual promo over here. So it's incredibly likely that those little casual tournaments over here, which are currently giving away the Monkey promo, are going to swap and just move on to the Bellamy promo next. Not confirmed, not official or anything like that, but that is the way it's been going up till now. Now, as always, I have done the translation here myself, but I did check with the lovely folks over at onepiece-cardgame.dev, and if you want a database to search One Piece cards, you literally cannot get a better one than onepiece-cardgame.dev. Check them out, those dudes are awesome. But what we've got here is 5 cost, 6,000 power, no counter, yellow. Obviously, it's Bellamy Pirates. Of course it is. And we've got Banish. And Banish is a pretty cool skill. That is the one whereby when you take a life, it just gets discarded rather than going into your opponent's hand, and trigger doesn't activate. Usually, your opponent takes a life, but you at least get an advantage. Maybe you get a trigger, but even if you don't get a trigger, you get a card in hand. And that might be a card to help you out next turn. That might be a card of a counter to help you ward off the next attack. I mean, sometimes you'll get a card from your opponent taking a life, which gives you just enough counter to stop them winning the game with their final attack of the turn, and you win next turn. That's fun. Banish stops that happening. It's cool. We've then got Don X2. If you have no life cards, this character gains 2,000 power. At which point, this thing is redonk. Like your ordinary average, run-of-the-mill, everyday vanilla card is 5 cost, 7,000 power. That's what a general vanilla card would be. When you have no life, and this is a big when, and we'll get there in a minute, but when you have no life, this becomes a 5 cost, 8,000 power with Banish. That's ridiculous. Although remember, it is Don X2, so it's not really an 8,000, it's a 10,000, because you only activate this skill by putting 2 Don on. But regardless, it means a Don, essentially the first 2 Don you put on count double. But what this means is that I basically get a 5 cost, plus the 2 Dons, call it a 7 cost if you want. But it's then 10,000 power, and it's got Banish, so when I'm taking life, my opponent's not getting any advantage from that. I love it, ladies and gentlemen. This is cool. But it's awkward. And I think that's a fair point to make. This is a very, very, very awkward card. There will be plenty of games where you don't get this on the board. And the other thing is, not only does this only kick in when you've got 0 life, but also it's got no counter. So it's not going to be that useful earlier in the game either. Because we all know sometimes you got those cards that work in specific instances. It's not the kind of game where it's working, but that's okay. Use it as a counter, move on with your life. Bellamy doesn't do that. There is no counter. So this all needs to be borne in mind. This is pretty gosh darned important. But there are going to be times where this is really good. To be fair, even generally it's a 5 cost 6,000 power with Banish, and sure, the power isn't great, but you've still got Banish, so it's not a terrible card when you don't have 0 life. But when you do have 0 life, it's a good card. And then, of course, we need to bear in mind that you've got all those things in yellow to let you take your own life, so you can essentially lower your life down to activate this. And incidentally, there will be games where you will take your final life yourself to activate this so that you can then pull off a big attack your opponent can't stop. I mean, just as an example, think about Charlotte Linlin from Starter Deck 7. When attacking Don X2, you may add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and then if your life is at 2 or less, you may place up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life, but you can essentially go down to 0 life here just to make it easier with Bellamy if you so wish. That's just one example. There's plenty more. Charlotte Montdor from Starter Deck 7. Activate main. You may rest this character and take the card at the top or bottom of your life to KO up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 3 or less. So that means you don't have to play Charlotte Linlin as your leader if you don't want to. You don't have to attach Don, etc. There are plenty of yellow cards that allow you to take life. And my point is that one of the options you would have here is to essentially do that, to go down to 0 life, to activate Bellamy on a turn where it's going to be particularly useful to do so. This might be a casual event promo. Don't sleep on this one. This one could actually be pretty gosh darn good. Just putting that one out there. But there's more that's going to be revealed, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got Standard Battle Pack Volume 4. Now, this is being made available at, wait for it, Standard Battles. But what we've got here is a new Standard Battle Pack with 4 new cards that will almost certainly be event promos over here as well. And they're alternate arts, so it's nothing we haven't seen before in terms of mechanics, but it's still kind of cool that we've got them. So we've got Gum Gum Jet Pistol from Starter Deck 1. It's a nice little event card here, 4 cost, and it lets you KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less, and actually does the same thing as a trigger, which is actually really quite cool, ladies and gentlemen. Really quite cool. So that's nice. We like this. This does some decent stuff. Seen that pop up in a bunch of decks, and the artwork is pretty gosh darn good. We've got the Scratchman of Pooh here from Starter Deck 2. 2 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 2,000. And then you got Don X2. When attacking, rest up to one of your opponent's Don cards. It's alright. Get rid of some of your opponent's Don. Not too bad. It means if they're saving Don to use for event cards, etc. on your turn, because obviously they're all going to become active again to use when your opponent's turn starts, but it means if they've got Don they're waiting to use on your turn, you can rest some of them, and that's kind of fun. And if nothing else, of course, it's still got counter plus 2,000. That ain't too shabby. We've got brand new coming in here from OPO3. No English scan, unfortunately. This one's not been released in English. 2 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And on play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal a Navy card other than brand new and add it to your hand. Trash the remaining cards. So if you want a Navy searcher, if you want a card that's going to search out your Navy cards, wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new has totally got your back. Decent card. Go searching, and might I say, significantly better artwork than the OPO3 art. And also, why is his hairline so different in both these cards? That's just weird to me. And then we finish off with Sanji, and speaking of artwork, this is good artwork on Sanji. Annoyingly, another card from OPO3. Only annoying because it means we don't actually have an English scan of it. Although, to be fair, the regular Sanji artwork from OPO3 was pretty cool as well. So this is the one, 2 cost, 3,000 power, counter plus 2,000. And I kind of enjoy the fact that half of these cards have counter plus 2,000. Don X2, when attacking, you may add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand, and that add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. You're basically cycling your life, so there's 2 reasons this ends up being pretty good. Firstly, if there's a card that you know or suspect to be in your life that you want to get, this can get it. Honestly, if it's just a card you need, this lets you look at 1 more card. That's good. Means you've got another chance of finding it. But also, yellow is really hot on triggers. Triggers is one of the things they do best. So this just gives you another, if you've got cards that let you look at the top or bottom card of your life, like Charlotte Pudding, for instance, will allow you to do that. And then this basically goes, the card I want isn't there. So maybe if I put a card from the top of my deck onto there, maybe I will have a chance there of having the right trigger on top of my deck. There's at least a chance there. So it's a weird kind of card, but it is a useful card. You get to see an extra card that's in your life, and you get to potentially put another card in there that might have a trigger, and that's rather lovely. So we got these 4 cards which are available in Standard Battle Pack 4, being given away at Standard Battles. And then we've got the new Bellamy, what I like to refer to as the casual promos, given away at the exchange meeting, and almost certainly going to be the same thing here when we get there. So there we go. That's what I think, ladies and gentlemen. That's the news, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and card games and all kinds of other fun things, like One Piece card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.